Welcome back. Well, as I mentioned, we have Jeff Parker here. Hi, happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday to you.
For some reason, everyone seems very excited that it's Friday today.
Well, and warm weather,
tell ya.
Getting outside, I think all of that combined makes for a nice, pleasant weekend ahead.
Exactly, and I think that, our numbers are looking pretty good, so people feel very hopeful and excited to get out there and do more things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of numbers, you've got a few you'd like to share with us today.
Right, so we'll get it up on the board here and we'll talk about it. Just wanted to say that the nice thing is a continuing pattern of being really stable. And the impact of that is from not only a county but a statewide perspective. Taking a look at that says that even though we're seeing in other countries and stuff like that, here in California, with the vaccinations and the controls, our numbers are getting really good. So to the board, 43 cases. I mean, that's probably the lowest number that we've seen since we talked back in March of last year. Unfortunately, again, four fatalities, people passing away, but that number even is gone down and is staying closer to a lower number. 12,000 tests, 43 cases. So when we go to the next chart in a minute, we'll show how that impacts everything. And then obviously real positive, 116 in overall hospitalizations in Orange County. Very, very low number, and only 25 of those cases ICU. So again, steady movement in the positive direction, which is great for the county and great for us. Right,
excellent, excellent. And then Laguna Woods didn't really see any change, right?
Right, we're basically at our same number. We might have gone up 2. I think we went from 411 to 413, but that's again, those are total cases for the village since we've been calculating this. Again, our numbers are really, really low. So going to this chart that we always kind of focus on now, and how do we get to that next minimal tier? Well, as you can see, we're now at 2.6. That 43 number with 12,000 tests, that keeps trending like that, then that 2.6 is going to come down pretty quick. We just got to get to 2. And if we can get to 2, the other 2 categories, the positive test and the quartile test, are already in the next category. So we then would drop down into the very minimal. Again, I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, I was looking at, based on the trends, that we were probably talking about the first couple of weeks in May as that time frame. Drop into that last yellow category, and then of course the governor's goal is to get out of the categories at all come June.
Was there an announcement made this week?
Nothing new, other than that's still his goal of shooting for the 15th of June as to being out of these categories altogether for the state of California.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, I think this is very positive news, because then what that'll help our folks is that we'll be able to open up more things as we move along, which you've been doing. Right.
Once we go to the yellow category, it basically doubles the capacity. In a number of our activities where we were at 25%, it goes up to 50%.
Okay, great.
So if we were at 11, now we're at 22, that type of thing. So that will give more opportunity for people to engage back into some of our activities that we're doing. We probably won't be looking at the clubhouses for club activities and usage opening up until we get into the non-categorized area, what the governor's talking about on June 15th. If that happens in June 15th, Brian and I have been working on a program trying to look at when could we then look at getting our clubs back into operations. Probably would be July because of just the staffing, making sure we have the coordination, making sure we get all the noticing out there appropriately. So that's assuming, again, that the governor moves in June to accomplish that.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Brian here in the next week or so, and I'll have some additional questions from him, but I'll pose the question to you. Basically, a lot of people are looking forward to having certain types of group activities. I mean, the Woodstock that they didn't get to have last year, would that be something that they would have, not necessarily like they normally do in July, but maybe move it to the fall?
It's possible. I think that's what he's looking at. What kind of activities can we shift a little bit time-wise and continue to have and program for? I think that's what we'd like to do, and working with the groups and working with the the committees that we've had and stuff like that. It's critical to just be able to plan it, because you need that advanced planning. So if we can move something to the fall that we were going to have in June or July, then certainly we want to take a look at that.
That'd be great. I'm noticing that some of the venues out there that were kind of aiming for that time frame have now canceled, and now they're moving them further out. So, I mean, it's certainly hopeful, and you're going to have something to look forward to.
Exactly. And we're going to try to, as much as possible, get that advance notice out to people as soon as we know we can go, and as soon as we can plan it appropriately.
Now, one thing we've been talking a lot about is Activenet, and lots of people do know how to use it, some don't, but of course there's a tutorial that they can use. What are you finding from the residents? Are they pretty much okay using Activenet, and the classes are going forward correctly?
I think it's a learning curve still, and the people that are very active on computer systems and use it all the time, or on the internet all the time, they seem to be adjusting really well to it, and we're pretty good at using it. Again, for those that don't use it all the time, then it's a repetitive thing that you have to kind of learn. That's where that tutorial is really good and helpful. But again, go to our website, just follow the instructions, and we'll get you there. And if you run into a problem, then call the recreation department directly, and they can help you get signed up.
Perfect, perfect. Now, there's another really cool thing that you're here to tell us about, and it was something that was on the news.
Yeah, it's just reported, and we got it up on the ABC reported, and now they have a location, website that you can go on, and you can actually put in your zip code, and they've been able to calculate, and I'm not sure where they're getting the backup data, but they've been able to pretty much give a projection of where the vaccination have happened in your zip code. So the level of vaccinations in your zip code. So you can go to the zip code here for Laguna Woods, and it shows that 74% of our residents in the zip code, based on this information, have been vaccinated. So that's just great. It's a high number. I mean, we're talking about the whole zip code, not just the village. So obviously the village takes that up.
The village takes it way up, because when I heard 74%, I thought, well, that seemed awfully low for us. But if you just took the village, folks, it's way higher.
I think our number would be over 80% probably.
I think so.
I think we do know that, when we did the vaccination, certainly our percentage that we did just at Clubhouse 7 was over 50%.
Right.
And in communication with all the people signing up for shots, saying, hey, we don't need the appointment any longer because we got it at SoCa, or we got it up the county in Anaheim, or wherever they may have received it. That's just good news. I think this will get more precise, and this information will get more updated as we see it. So I think we'll grow. If we get into the situation, and I think this is one of the keys that the governor's looking at too, is if we're in that 75% or greater in pretty much all the zip codes around the state of California, and our hospitalizations are continuing to trend low, then I think that gives him all the confidence in the world to say, hey, we can go back to the semi-normal world of opening up.
Well, right, because didn't they want for the whole nation, I thought it was like 70% or 60 plus, at least, to what they call herd immunity.
I think that that's been a goal that they've been talking about, that 70%. I think obviously the higher percentage, the better you have that herd immunity. And I think that that's where California's headed. It's done a really, really excellent job, I think, in getting these vaccinations out lately, especially because they opened up a new facility at the Great Park, which again, with the drive-through type of, which is going to just add that capacity. So I'm hoping that we continue to go back to see those numbers that we saw earlier, where we only have like 40-something cases and 12,000 people getting tested. Because that's still important to, if you have a symptom or you're feeling not well or anything like that, get tested, make sure, because people are still getting the virus. The virus is out there, it's not going away.
No, it's not. I don't think it'll go away, really for quite some time. So hopefully we just don't have any more waves like we've been seeing. So. And
the need for, now with the vaccination and other things that are coming out, that we can address it so much in advance that we don't get people that are really sick. And that's really the goal.
And I mean, that was just such a new thing for everybody. So that's why we were all just sort of learning as we went along. So, all right, well, wonderful. Thank you for the information.
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, we'll see you next week. All right, stay tuned. We'll have Elsie Addington with the United Update. We'll be right back.